not repertoire, but the clout he has in AEW. You could basically take everything I just said and put it right here yet again because Ricky Starks, one of our rising stars. How do you not have him win this match?
I say it has to be Ricky Starks, but we have known Jericho to get some weird dubs.
Guys, this is Santino Morel, and you're listening to Wrestling Behind the Curtain.
You already know what it is. You already know what it is. It's your boy Chance. It's your boy Kenzo the Great. Wrestle Behind the Curtain. We ain't playing the merch joint, but we got it on. Let Kenzo say what he said. I'm gonna give you the promos, and you see the thumbnail. You know why we're here.
It's your boy Kenzo the Great. You've been here before, and if you haven't, welcome. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let's get it. Revoultion.
McDonald's steak egg bagels is back. You know what I mean? Do your thing. Do the right thing, McDonald's. Do the right thing. We need the sponsors. But like I said, get the promos out the way. Discord, join it. It's free. It's in the description box. You already know. Merch, we had it on sale. Somebody put in YouTube community center. They say, I wouldn't rock none of the merch, to be honest. I feel you. It's cool to each his own. But I see some of the shit that the wrestlers make, and y'all rock it anyway. So this is B100. You ain't ready, but that's cool. But what else? Discord, free. Merch, description box, Patreon, get the channel going. I'll be live in Mexico this week. What else? That's good. And that's all we need to do. I'm gonna eat my breakfast. We're gonna pull up the card. We're gonna give our AEW Revoultions 2023 predictions. And make sure you like, share, subscribe, do all the good stuff. If you've been here before, appreciate y'all. If you haven't, hit that sub, hit that like, and let's get it going.
All right. Now, I ain't going to even lie. I don't know if this card is in order. I looked at it very briefly, and I think it is. But, who knows? Because there's so many stipulation matches on there. I guess we just started at the top. Mark Briscoe and the Lucha Brothers with Alex Abrahantes versus Ari and the Varsity Athletes, which is Josh Woods and Tony Nese. Tony Nese still around is kind of crazy to me. This is a six-man tag. Obviously, I just said six people. But again, this is probably gonna go on the kickoff, the buy-in, or they call it the buy-in. We got a lot of good workers in the match, but I only care for the story, to be honest.
Yeah, let me ask you a question real quick. So, where's Pac?
I haven't seen anything about him being injured. I don't know.
Okay, so I do my drawing real quick. Happy for Mark Briscoe, obviously, because Briscoe, rest in peace, Jay. So happy to see him getting some TV shine. I appreciate that. I feel they get the dub, obviously, sentimental reasons. And, it's the Lucha Brothers, too. So I'm going to give them the dub. But like you said, too, not really invested in that storyline or match. But, shout out to Mark for being on the card. And, appreciate your rest in peace, Jay.
All right, we're going to move on very quickly. This match, I don't know how it took so long for...
Your prediction?
Oh, yeah, I said the Lucha Brothers probably going to win it.
Oh, okay, my bad. Go ahead.
Lucha Brothers probably got that. Christian Cage versus Jungle Boy Jack Perry. This match, I feel like this match should have happened on last year's Revoultion. Jesus Christ, how is it still a thing?
Christian got hurt.
Yeah, I know, but I don't think just because someone you just throw the feud back out there. I think Christian got a couple years in the business still, so I think they could have went about it again because you had the whole Luchasaurus breaking off from Jungle Boy, all this different stuff they got going on there. I think it could have went in the other direction because I do think Jack Perry is one of the four pillars. He's very important, Jungle Boy. We like him as a forever face, probably never go heel the way it looks based on all that stuff we know and all that. But again. This card's pretty full. This needs to be on here. I don't know. But again, they only have 4 pay-per-views, so you can't not have your 4. Let me double check that. How many of the 4 pillars are here?
Darby Allin isn't.
Yeah, it's just Darby Allin who's missing, right? So,
and Britt Baker, unless she's fighting.
That's one of our pillars. It's not one of their pillars. That's remember, we gave her the pillar status. They did it. So yeah, I guess when you look at that, if you want to, especially you want to include Britt and Jade, then you can just that's if you're going to use our pillars, that's 3 out of 6. You got to have at least half. So I guess you gotta have Jungle Boy on here. I guess Jungle Boy has to take the W as well for all the reasons I just said about him having to be on the card is also why he has to win because what you giving the Christian for? He's had a belt, he's had everything, he's here to be growing the roster, right? Helping train and all that stuff, putting people over. I guess that
Yeah, I think we agree on that. Christian don't need the dub unless for some reason, he's not really a backstage politics guy, but unless for some reason he's in Tony's ear and tells him, hey, he needs to lose this one, but I got him on the next one because I'm gonna elevate him on that. But other than that, he doesn't really need to win. He got no belt title shot coming soon from anything. So Jungle Boy is a pillar. Plus, he needs to start taking some dubs because he's no longer in the tag team. So I believe he's straight singles now. So if he's eventually going to get that TNC, then and eventually, because Tony does like small guys balls, then maybe world title at maybe 3-4 years from now. So he doesn't got to start getting some dubs. So Christian should do some good work and put him over.
yeah, it should be a good match for sure. Next up, singles match. There's no stipulation besides the Jericho Society can't be at ringside. Is Jericho versus Ricky Starks, and literally besides the fact that Jericho is obviously way better than Christian as far as not repertoire, but the clout he has in AEW. You could basically take everything I just said and put it right here yet again because Ricky Starks, one of our rising stars. How do you not have him win this match? I do think it's going to be a good match. Jericho could still go. The Jericho Cruise was not too long ago. You know how serious he takes that. But yeah, it has to be Ricky Starks. Absolute Ricky Starks.
I say it has to be Ricky Starks, but we have known Jericho to get some weird dubs. I remember, I think last year at one point I was like, "Yo, this man does not lose for some reason." But I mean, is there going to be some antics later that they still interfere? And cause a match?
That'd be really good. I mean,
I don't see the reason for Jericho going over, especially because Ricky Starks is a rising star. Fans are calling for him. Eventually, if he's going to get some kind of belt, then he needs to get some dubs too.
See, I hate when you do this because you start saying certain things and it triggers things in my brain and make me feel like maybe this, maybe that. Because you want to think about it, you said the crowd called his name, right? Ricky Starks a bit of a tweener. If Jericho screws him over, then you could go full face. So I guess that's an option. I don't want that. There's other ways. I mean, you could turn him evil with him. I don't know. But I do think they're going to, now that you mentioned that, he does get a lot of the crowd going behind him. I think Twitter's actually behind him too. And how often do those two both behind you? So having both of those, I don't know. You might just have to lose this match. It would suck. But I'd prefer, and I'm going to stick with my prediction that Ricky Starks wins.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Ricky Starks too. But like I said, could be some crazy antics, but I'm gonna still go Ricky.
All right, next up for the
if y'all watch this live, you can put it in the comments too.
Yeah, for sure. Like, share, comment. Next up, the trios belt. Well, I ain't gonna lie. When you think about this, they're trying to give some prestige to this belt, which we've talked about. It could have because they have a lot of teams here.
I'm very torn on this match.
We're talking about the Elite versus House of Black. Yeah, I can see why. Kenny's back. That's very important. We love the Bucks here. We're not afraid to admit that. We don't care about all the. People just don't like them because they're good heels. People don't like them. Whatever, we do. House of Black, bunch of fucking monsters. A great stable. Great aesthetic, great presentation every time. Can they lose this? Should they lose this? I'm gonna go House of Black here. I just think if you look at the momentum of the teams, yes, Kenny just came back, relatively speaking, all the time. But the Elite, we using my WWE words, but they could afford to lose more than anybody else. They're basically untouchable. Like, what you gonna say? Kenny Omega lost him. I mean, I doubt he's the one who takes the pin just because of how this shit works. But what you gonna say? I mean, damn, then they could even use that to break up the Elite. Now I'm even more convinced. But what you gonna do? You can't have. I mean, if Kenny eats the pin, what are you gonna say? Oh, Kenny's like, oh, he's washed. No, you're not gonna say that. He's still Kenny Omega. He's the best bout machine, and he just had great matches not too long ago. We're not gonna forget that. So, if you look at that, if the House of Black lose on the other hand, it's like, well, they did all that scary, all this, all the supernatural, and just to lose to these guys, what are they gonna do now? I think it's got to be House of Black. They could run Riot on the roster for a little bit, and then we could get another like trio. Actually, maybe come out of nowhere and beat them. Maybe not even one of the established trios we have now.
All right, so I'm gonna throw a couple things out there. One, let's get a fact check. When is Forbidden Door?
I'd have to double check that, but probably summertime for my knowledge. Forbidden Door 2023. Let's see
Like
how.
4 months away. Okay, cool. So doesn't necessarily have to be. I'm in agreement to House of Black. First off,
Yeah.
the reason why I'm torn is because it is the elite. They just got the belts back, so it means that they would just lose it, which
June 24th is Forbidden Door.
you don't really see happen with the elite or the Bucks dropping the belt that quick. So that's why I really don't know 100%, even though I said I'm going to go House of Black. But if they do, it could do a lot of things. Like I said, it could be a breakup. It could be, is Jay White there now? Did he sign? Is he going to cause something to happen? Could it be somebody from New Japan that causes something to happen for a future Forbidden Door? Could it be something with Adam Page? Like,
I was thinking about that too, but that's just I didn't want to put too much copium out there because I really do think it is unlikely. Huh?
That's the only way I can see them lose. Like, are they going to lose cleanly to House of Black?
I think they should lose clean if they're gonna lose. I mean, these three monsters in there, you can't be having them. If anything, if they win, it should be shenanigans, not lose by shenanigans. But
that's why I said like House of Black, because Tony was, as far as I know, Tony was very close to losing them. Oh, like Buddy and Malachi. So I'm pretty sure they had it. I'm pretty sure they had some behind the scenes like, look, bro, I'm fed up. Like, what's gonna happen? Like, we need these belts because when they came back, they have been like even stronger than before. So you can't take it out.
Oh, now I don't know. Maybe we get to that match. I'll change my mind. But I feel like you don't feel like we're getting ahead of ourselves, kind of. Well, I'm getting ahead of it. You don't think Adam Page could join the elite again, or something else, something like that? Because I feel like he just floating out.
He said something a long time ago, but I don't know what it was in reference to. If they even paid it off, he said I have to make amends on something. So I don't know if it's supposed to be the elite,
or getting shenanigans,
be Dark Order.
This is so fucking.
I just don't see them cleanly. But then at the same time, if House of Black loses, you're doing the same shit again. You're booking them strong, and then they're still losing anyway.
Yeah. Well, we both made our choices and had what we had to say. Again, y'all leave a comment on which side y'all think that's gonna land.
Kenny said, "Yo, we done with this match. Let's go."
I mean, we're gonna keep going because I'm looking at it like it's just making me think of more and more things, and I keep looking at that John Moxley Adam Page match, and I just keep bleeding these two matches together, and they literally only put one match. Is one match in between those two, and it's only gonna make me think more. Wow, Samoa Joe's on this card. I didn't wear my Samoa Joe shirt. That's hilarious. So yeah, we already made our prediction. Let's go to the women's match. It's a triple threat, a three-way, whatever, which way you want to call it. Jamie Hayter, the champion, versus Saraya Page, is formerly known, and Ruby Soho. Jesus Christ, do I not know? Have I never not known something the way I not know this right now?
Well, I actually think I know this one. Well, actually, no. See, now you did it too. Now I don't know this one. So I think it's too soon for Saraya. So I don't think that's gonna happen. Ruby, I'm very torn because I feel like no shade to you, Ruby. Like in real life, I told you about this person. I feel real bad about her run because it's been kind of weeks off since she's been back and she's been catching L's.
Yep.
So because we did say she should have had the TBS belt.
Mm-hmm.
Like she should have won that one and rocked that for a little, but she didn't. So now we're in the championship. Her promo was cool. How she said she's not a homegrown. You know what I mean? So that was cool. I love Jamie. The fans love Jamie. But Britt has been very quiet lately. And she even had something along the line where she wasn't upset with Tony, but she said, she hasn't really been on TV. She hasn't really done anything that much, and she's not really happy about that. Could she turn? Could she cost Jamie Hayter? Because there was a storyline there before, and then they supposedly patched it up. So could she cause Hayter the match, and then Ruby wins, or no? So
that's one of the things I did see happening. So that's actually my prediction. I do think Ruby's gonna be the one to win it. Hopefully, my WWE brain is melting. We can't have this much shenanigans on one card, but I feel like there's gonna be shenanigans here. And I really hope that would mean it's shenanigans 3 matches in a row because, like I said, the other 2 matches could be very possibly tied together depending on what Adam Page has been screaming and all this elite stuff too. So God, Jesus Christ. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with Ruby.
Strong Ruby.
I'm gonna stick with Ruby, but Only thing I know for sure is I'm not for sure is wrestling, but I'm just pretty sure Paige is not winning. But I could see Jamie Hayter retaining. It wouldn't be like the craziest in the world. It's not what I think should happen.
I guess to be opposite, I'm gonna go Hater, but I do believe Ruby could steal it. But with the turn of Britt Baker. Remember I said it. So in case Hater does win, I did say Britt was gonna turn, but I'm gonna go Hater so we're not perfect on the predictions. Yeah.
All right, and I do want to say before we talk about this match, it's a Texas Death match. It's John Moxley versus Hangman Adam Page.
He's bleeding. He's bleeding in the locker room before he come out.
Yeah, I was about to say. I did notice because I've always loved Mox. I've seen him on CZW. I've seen him all over the place. I do know that he likes a little bleed, but in the Discord again, I am terrible with names. I forgot who this was. Chance probably
Cammy the Entertainer.
What's up?
Cammy the Entertainer.
Yeah, there you go. Was mentioning that
I was gonna say the same thing, but I'm glad you brought it up.
Mox might have a
Cammy, shout out to you if you watch this video.
100%. See, that's why I got you on the Discord. You get shout outs and we talk to you about stuff like this. And you point out stuff we might not mention because it's just, different walks of life, different, because there's a reason why this person knew this. It's not my business to share. But when you look at it, if you think about it through that lens, Mox might actually, I mean, again, I don't want to judge you, Mox. You're an entertainer. This is what you do. Maybe you just think people like it and the show needs it, blah, blah, blah. But he might have a problem with self-mutilation and self-harm. He bleeding every week. And this is Texas Death Match. We know he's finna bleed this weekend. The promo kid, man, I love Mox promos. But again, I probably because it pointed out to me that shit changes your view on things. But I'm just like looking at him like, did this promo need blood leaking down your face onto the stairs and all? Like, hey, you're Mox. Like, I watched you take a shot in a bar and give a killer promo. Who was that on the Murder Hawk Monster? Like, you didn't need to be bleeding there. And trust me, the point got across. I'm pretty sure he was champion at that time too. Like, you don't need to bleed to get the point across for sure. Like, if you want to about the matches, we could if but some of the blading is crazy. Like, and then the blading got caught on TV to make it even worse. Like the camera was trying to stay away from it. He was blading so long that by the time the camera turned around, he was still doing it, and it was gash. So shout out to the talent to hide these things. I don't know how the hell because these are not small cuts. That's why all these blood's flowing. And obviously, if you drink a little bit before and you're in a match, the blood get flowing, it helps it bleed too. This is all things wrestlers know. They used to take baby aspirin, all that stuff. But again, I'm not trying to judge you, Marks. You do what you do, but you might maybe ease up a little bit. Just a little bit. Maybe somebody else need to bleed on the show. Let somebody else bleed. Cody come back to bleed. Maybe see we lost Cody and now Mox doing all the bleeding. He double timing the bleeding because it used to be Cody and Mox. Now it's just Mox because this is crazy.
Yeah, because it has been pretty much every match.
Yeah, every week.
Because at first it was just like a pay-per-view thing.
Mm-hmm.
That was on TV too. So yeah. So if it's true, you know how we feel like, please, take care of yourself. If it's entertainment purposes that, we stand corrected and we do apologize, but we have concern because we actually have love for you, Mox. 100%. And again, it was pointed out through different lenses from Cammy and Entertainer, so appreciate that as well. But for this long match, who do you got?
I mean, this is confusing because it's a death match. That's usually supposed to be Mox's thing, blah, 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 blah. But can Hangman lose this? Like, what are we going to say about Hangman if he loses this match? We're going to be like, okay, again, there's a possibility of shenanigans with the Elite. Do the Elite come and pick him up after a loss? I doubt it. That's not the energy they've been given lately. But maybe if they take a loss and he takes a loss, maybe we're all loser now. Who knows where they're going with it?
I don't think Adam can lose this.
He shouldn't, but.
And maybe does this give us what we've been trying to say, Mox's vacation?
Mox does need a vacation, and especially what we just talked about. I'm
gonna go Page.
The Page, he gotta win it, right? Like,
especially what you just said. This is Mox's thing, so it would make more sense. Oh shit, Mox lost a death match.
I'm 50-50 on this one because if the Elite lose and Adam Page lose, there's a lot more story you could do there than them just making fun of him. But then if he wins and they lose. I'm going with Page because if he wins and I know I'm telling this a lot around the Elite, but I do need House of Black to also win anyway. So if House of Black win and Adam Page win, where can we go from there? I think because remember he said he's gonna right some wrongs. So if I'm gonna go with Page for sure. Mox needs a break for sure. He's been having the company on his back multiple times, and I don't think that was the plan. So
where we go now? Let's stay with the Blackpool versus Dark Order. It says it's pre-show.
Oh yeah, I didn't even see that one, so that would make sense. That's a better pre-show match than.
I'm gonna be honest. Ever since William Regal left, I don't see it anymore. Like I don't see the Combat Club doing what they're doing. Like they're cool, but I feel like Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson has always been separate. Like he still doesn't.
They don't feel very stably before, even with William Regal. They definitely don't now.
Yeah. Then if Mox does in fact lose and take vacation, I don't see Claudio and Wheeler staying together unless it's a tag team. But Claudio's isn't he the champion of Ring of Honor?
Yeah, I think he still is. We talked about we going to do a Ring of Honor video. We're clueless about that
I was
stuff.
just gonna say that, like, I don't know what your time limit looks like, but we do have a lot of content that could go. But anyway, I don't see why they would lose to the Dark Order though. Like Dark Order doesn't give me any kind of vibes of winning. So I think they may lose, but I'm still gonna just go the Blackpool Combat Club because I just don't see John Silverman like that.
I like John Silver. I do. He's a very entertaining wrestler and all that. But talking about a buy-in, you want to get people to start watching. Yeah, I don't see Dark Order doing they've been reduced basically to a comedy thing mostly now.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they need Anna J back, and maybe they could talk about Hangman has got so much strings loose on this show. Do something, Tony. Come on. So yeah, I'm going Blackpool, but not with a lot of confidence. And it's a buy-in match. How much does it really matter?
Oh my god, let's get this one out the way because I forgot this was on the card. I don't care for it. The tag team match. This is the most.
According to this, it's second to last. I hope that's not where it is.
Me neither. This is the worst match on paper to me. The Gun's cool. I appreciate they got a title reign. I wish that was transitional, but cool that they got a little.
Bro, I'm looking at this match and I'm like, yo, this is like the least chance match you could make. This shit is hilarious. But why are there so many? Okay.
I don't know. Like, it's cool because it's the Guns, it's Billy Gunn, kid. Cool. I like that. Acclaim, they grew on me. I think they get the belt back. Jeff Jarrett, Jay Lethal, please. If you give Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal the belt, I don't know. I'm not watching that tag team division. Orange Cassidy and Danhausen. No shade to Hausen, but you're a comedy act, at least as far as I know. Getting a belt, I don't see why you would need it. Orange Cassidy already has a belt. That doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know why he's in this match.
Matches sooner. Because if I, out of my very busy schedule, at the end of my very busy schedule, when I finally get to turn into this pay-per-view, if the only one of the few things I get to see out of all of it before my replay, obviously I'm gonna watch it back. Yes, guys, don't worry, we're gonna have a review on it. If one of the few things I see is this live, and I like Danhausen and Orange Cassidy, and again, I have no problem. I like comedy wrestling, but comedy wrestling doesn't belong in the. Remember, again, we're skipping ahead. We skipped Samoa Joe Wardlow. We'll get back to that. Okay, but after this, according to what I'm looking at, is if it's MJF versus Bryan Danielson, that's a 60-minute Iron Man match. You want a 4-way tag funny match before a 60-minute Iron? That don't sound right, at least to my brain.
It should be right as soon as like the pre-show is over.
Yeah. This should be like after Christian Cage versus Jungle Boy or something. Guns are the champs. Acclaim, the Jeff Jarrett, Jay Lethal. Yeah, like please no.
I mean, everybody's right to the Acclaim loss, so I would say you have to go back to the Acclaim.
With these two dudes, I can't. Yeah, I'm gonna go Acclaimed as well, even though we don't like to agree too much. But the Guns, I mean, I can see the Guns retaining. I just don't. But
yeah, I can see him retaining. Like maybe Billy Gunn turns on the Acclaim.
Yeah, because he's on the side of the Acclaim. It just better not be Jay Lethal, Jeff Jarrett, or
yeah. If it's Jeff Jarrett, Jay Lethal, I'm not watching this shit no more unless you bring FTR back.
Oh yeah, we could that was horrible. I forgot that was even there. Ugh. No offense, guys. I'm sorry. Again, I like comedy wrestling. It just don't belong. After all the matches I just read, that just sounded so out of place.
That alone makes me not want to watch it.
I'm dead. Samoa Joe, the chap versus Wardlow for the TNT.
It still has one of the best music. Joe.
He does. I do have Wardlow. I do have Wardlow in this match. I'm a Samoa Joe apologist. I do have the merch, all that stuff. But
this is weird for me.
It's time.
No, it's definitely time. But you see who's the runner-up for the belt?
Who's to? I forgot.
Hobbs.
Right. Yes, I do remember that. He won the State of Revolution.
So do you see a Hobbs versus Wardlow more than a Samoa Joe?
Did we just get that? We talked about that.
It was a triple threat.
Right.
we see that more than Samoa Joe versus Hobbs.
Well, Samoa Joe versus Hobbs was probably a better match to sell, but Wardlow's the better champion to sell. And then, I mean, if he loses it, he's not done. I mean, look at him.
But that's what I'm saying. So if he wins, but then he loses to Hobbs, what does that do for Wardlow? But if he beats Hobbs, what does that do for Hobbs?
They fucked this up. They fucked it up because there's all you guys saying we AEW stands or whatever. We gonna call it how we see it. This is a mistake because if you think about it. You know, they've made the same every time they give this stupid Sonic Ring thing, they make the same mistake. It's too close to the pay-per-view. So they wanted the Hobbs won his chance at the TNT. They might as well make it a triple threat. But even then, you have too many people. Samoa Joe is the only person here in a 2-week, 3-person span who could afford to lose. That is quite unfortunate. Either Wardlow's wins here and then he beats Hobbs and then Hobbs is gone, or Wardlow wins now and then Hobbs wins, Wardlow's gone, or Samoa Joe wins, Wardlow's gone, and then Hobbs wins. Somebody taking an L, whether they only take 1 or 2. Like these are
Wardlow cannot lose. He can't.
But can Hobbs lose? I mean, when is the Hobbs match?
Hobbs can. I don't know, but how?
That's the thing. If he gets to like
maybe next pay-per-view,
like Survivor Series, where I got it, like the briefcase. I got a chance. I can do whatever I want. Then if we hold off on it for a little bit, but then again, why would Hobbs not do it automatically? Because his character doesn't really show the teasing type. But they're gonna have to figure something out. Because we can't tell me next week on AEW TV we're gonna get this match right after. That don't make sense. So they're gonna have to figure it out.
Look, I'll tell you afterwards. But yeah, so Wardlow can't afford to lose, in my opinion. He can't. Because the buzz was so high before. Then he lost, he got his hair cut. That alone kind of takes away from how his character was looking, because he just looks different to me. Just I don't know. I'm not one of them people, because I always talk about the people that do it, that talk about how characters should look, but it threw shit off. To me,
we're not telling you, in your personal life, this. We're telling you for the aesthetic, for this. I mean, that's a big part of why we get into wrestling. These people don't look like normal people. You're not supposed to.
Yeah, now he just looks regular to me. But
yeah, that's just like a swole dude. Probably like a dude, maybe a dude in the army. The dude you see at the gym. He's just a regular swole dude. You don't know like.
Yeah, I'll wrestle.
Yeah, don't look at that dude's way. But Wardlow.
So Wardlow made me think about that. Do I want to cut my size off again, just at the top? Jeez. But nah. But yeah, I think Hobbs can afford to lose because people they like Hobbs, but they're still not really Hobbs City right now. Wardlow is kind of like, what the fuck are we doing, Wardlow? So he's got to catch the dope. And then maybe we could see it.
I don't know. I know what you're saying. I agree. I got Wardlow winning this match, hands down. I don't agree with you that Hobbs could lose as much because he gets lost in this. There's too many people on this roster for you to let your monsters lose. That's why your monsters should have faced each other until a big payoff. Which again, this is for a belt. That's not get confused, but again, they only have 4 pay-per-views. This is one of them. So when is that match going to be? I feel like that should be on him.
So I should have kept him in the FTW.
Or done the match that he won on this pay-per-view. Because then it'd be like, Wardlow won and we know his next opponent. But that don't got to be not. Now it's like we know his next opponent before he even win. I don't know.
They booked this one into the corner. So y'all tell us who y'all got, but we're going to go with the last match.
60-minute Iron Man match for the AEW World Champion MJF.
This sucks too, though.
Yeah.
Because Bryan Danielson, I believe, is going to lose. But what the fuck? He's losing all his matches, all the big time Jones.
MJF cannot lose his belt, son.
Like I believe MJF can't lose his one, probably because I'm not there, but probably contract negotiations. Well, two, he's looked super strong with that belt. 3, he's definitely working out, putting in the work for it. I can't see him losing. 4, the shit is talked a lot. AW is talked a lot more with him being the champ. But like I said, man, Bryan Danielson is just losing every title shot he gets.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. AW,
if it wasn't for the whole CM Punk shit, he should have won it at that time.
You know what? We could talk about it now. The TNT belt isn't a mid card belt. We've talked about this. It's not. It's upper mid card. It's like you are you almost on level with the world championship, and that's part of the problem here. The problem with AEW's roster, if you look at this card, if you look at it, we talk about everything we talked about just now. The problem is they don't have a mid card. It's either you're in the title picture or you wrestle every couple of weeks and you're lost. There's no true, because again, Samoa Joe is champion, not too much, but we talk about Wardlow or Hobbs having it. That's a strong champion. That's a strong. You can't have. But basically, I mean, that's why DB keep losing. I mean, who's again? Because MJF can't. Look at me. Time we just talked about in the last couple of matches. There's too many people who can't lose. Yes, you would think, okay, that's supposed to be more parity, 50-50 booking. But then again, because of the way this roster is loaded, because of the way rankings work, because you could be 10-1 in that, but that one was for the title shot. What? So now you got to win 3 more. Who are those 3 more going to be? You probably already faced the other people in the top 5. That's why you're 10-1. We got to find a way to make the records and the mid card, and we got to find a way. We're using dark wrong. Using that to pad people's stats. They're getting more wins. I think with the amount of wrestlers we have, maybe the big dogs should have less matches. Maybe we only see them on the pay-per-view and occasionally on we gotta figure that out, because that's why we're talking about this. Because he has won. If you look at the record, it shows wins, but you don't remember them because they're on Dark or they're on Rampage or they're building up to the L, which again is what's supposed to happen. But they got to do it. But they got to find a better way of doing it. Because Cesaro lost all the time back on WWE, and we used to talk about, well, this guy is done. We don't want to see him on a pay-per-view at all. And then they put him on one, and it's like, well, let's not forget this guy could go. But again, who cares? He's been losing in front of our eyes on every monthly pay-per-view we see. Yeah, we like the swing. That's the same thing here. You could be a strong wrestler. We could know your pedigree. We could know all that. But if you lose every time everyone sees you, because again, I'm not exactly a casual.
Because if he loses again, first of all, I just thought
60 minutes. Remember, people gonna be sitting here for a 60-minute Iron Man match. And when AEW say 60 minutes, I wouldn't be surprised if, now that I just thought about that, now that I said that, they might do a draw. They've done it before. I don't think they've done it on a pay-per-view before, but they've done it before. We're saying no one can lose. They might just do a draw, and then what does that say? And I think, yeah. Oh, that might.
I ain't gonna lie, I can see that happening too. But then, like you said, like
that's a terrible way to send the people home.
If Bryan Danielson loses, not to you, Brian, because I love you. Obviously, I think you probably are the greatest wrestler in the world right now. I don't want to see you in title contention no more. Like, you have no business there no more, because you've had too many opportunities. Be it that it's been different people, but you've had too many shots and you ain't catching them in.
I mean, but I just want to. I guess it's a little bit more of the real world stuff.
I can see it drop into the All Atlantic, like making that hotter, or maybe the TNT, like him and Wardlow.
But let's look at it at a bigger scale. You talked about Forbidden Door earlier. That's all the way in June. But we did talk about when he left WWE. One of the biggest things he said, he wanted to wrestle other places. Now, again, I am the wrestling behind the curtain guy for the indies and all of this. I don't think I've seen him too many other places. Maybe it's time? Maybe now is when he's gonna do it. And again, yes, I'm watching New Japan and stuff like that. They kind of need some help. Maybe he going, but then again, with the neck injuries and all that, does he go over there with the hard hitting style and work a 3-6 months? I don't think so. So I don't. Maybe he goes on strong in Ring of Honor. Talking about Ring of Honor need to help, and Ring of Honor and Bryan Danielson, that's synonymous with each other. Problem with that is, you don't want him to see him take a L. He should just be running Ring of Honor right now. He should have just been down there, him and Claudio, making it work, because we ain't talk about it enough, and they need some help. But this he has to take this L. He can't win this belt here. He just can't.
He can't. This is probably the first video that y'all once you guys have done. I don't know if it'll be the future like this too. That we just have no idea what's going to happen. We're giving you our best.
I know a lot of times people say that's a good thing. I feel like it could be a good thing, especially in wrestling. I don't know if it's a good thing this time. I think there's too many questions on this card to send enough. Because remember, you always gonna have to accept people who wrestling fans are toxic. To that guy who said our merch isn't good, people see me in that shirt, they always ask about it. Unfortunately, I can't just pop a link into people's phone, then they be copying it on the streets.
Well, technically you can, because I do.
I know we can.
I do have the QVR code on my phone, so when people ask, links pop up.
Yeah, you're gonna have to do that.
But technically, like you said, it's just wild. Like,
people gonna be upset. How do you make more people happy? Is what we got to do. What they gonna figure out. And I don't know. I mean,
MJF losing is not going to make people happy.
It's not.
So
A draw won't make people happy either.
And I really not saying that he wouldn't do it regardless, but I don't think he'd be busting his ass with working out, trying to have the company on his back for him to catch an L so quick.
You know, it's crazy. MJF probably one of the best wrestlers when it comes to tour dates. Like he's out there and he doesn't leave character. Obviously, we talk about this all the time. With him at the belt, he's doing that. If he's getting jacked and stuff, he probably needs to work out more because he's doing all the talking stuff. He doesn't get to work out as much, and he's got to hold on to the belt and look convincing. Talk about you could tell a lot of times that happens. Like old school wrestling ain't dead yet. Yeah. We can still see some of the stuff in the 80s and the 90s when these guys take their craft serious. When he like, I'm the champ now, I gotta look the part. Because before it was like, well, I'm one of the best around, I don't even gotta try. Now it's I'm the champ. This is my show. I'm gonna hold on to it. Yeah, he can't lose, like we said. Jesus, this card is gonna have me on.
He can't at all. So yeah, in a nutshell of our craziness is our predictions. You know what I mean? You can like, share, subscribe, do what you do. We definitely gonna be back. But you can like, share, subscribe, do what you do. Put in the comments what you think about the predictions. Are you fucking with it? You're not fucking with it? You have a different thing? Do you not care? You don't watch it anyway. You watch WWE? Doesn't matter. Whatever you do, put it in the comments. Get the merch. It's in the description box. Join the Discord. Do that.
I really wish our videos had comments like the community tab did. The thing you posted with Dominic and Eddie, that thing has. I'm like, well, all these comments be on the videos. Come on now, y'all get with it.
Yeah, I don't know what y'all doing. Y'all slacking on the comments, but feel free to comment. You know what I mean? Just comment, blow it up, do all that good stuff. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna be there, whatever. But like I said, Kenny gonna give a shout out, and I'm gonna give my outro. We out.
You know, we brought all the smoke today, as you can see. It was a little flabbergasted. We don't know what's gonna happen, and that was not to use straight shot, no chaser. There was a lot of chaser actually. So that's just for today. We usually give a straight shot, no chaser when we giving our takes, and we got a lot more soon. It's Women's History Month this month. It's gonna be a little different for me. I'm a history nerd when it comes to all my stuff, but obviously literally every other month is easier for me. I'm black, I'm Latino, all those months I got those down pat. Women's History Month, I'm obviously not a woman. That's going to be a little bit different. And there's a lot of problematic stuff that happened within women's wrestling. So I'm going to be having to skirt a tight line because, you know, some people love Fabulous Moolah. Some people think she's a horrendous human being. So we're going to have to toe the line, but we try to get into those to you every Friday the way we did last month. But why you should be watching Women's History Month, let's go.
Yes, sir.